Hello, hello, and welcome back to my podcast. It has been a while, and my apologies for that. I have really missed it, and I've missed the interaction with you. I've missed your comments. I've missed the whole community. I think quite a lot of people took a break from podcasting over the summer. There were a few times when I was looking for something to watch and I couldn't find anything, so I don't think I'm alone on that. Mine was partly because it was summer and we did have some other things on, but I also had two big magazine commissions. All I can say is they were both garments. I have to keep that quiet for now. But that just took up all my time. Initially I stopped my Tuesday email to my list. I kept the Friday one up because I would send 2 emails, and then I had to even just drop the Friday one. I had to drop my podcasts. I just had to put all my time and focus and energy and creativity into those 2 garments. So much as I didn't want to do it, I just had to let everything else slide. So apologies if you've missed me, and I hope you did a little bit. And I'm back, and I have quite a few things to show you. Not as much as, I don't know how long it was, 6-8 weeks. Not as much as that amount of work, because I was working on those commissions. Latterly, nothing else for the last 2-3 weeks of that, nothing else at all. And before that I was just allowing myself the evenings to work on my own projects. So I have got a little bit to show you, including, can you see, I am wearing my sea glass sweater. I thought I'd pop it on for the start because it's quite warm today. I mean, those of you in Europe will not think it's quite warm, or other parts of the world where it's scorching right now, but it's about 18 C today on the east coast of Scotland, and that for me is quite warm. Definitely not quite sweater weather, but I've got this on. I thought I'd put it on at the start, and it's got these little needle protectors on from Isle Stitch. Little llamas, they're cute. This end I've just stuck a slightly thinner and much longer, because I don't have another one, cable needle through. I'm working on both the sleeves. I'm kind of doing a bit of one, bit of the other. I'll stand up, let you see. There, I've done the hem. Might redo the hem, I don't know why, it looks a bit baggy. I'm not quite sure what happened. I did go down several needle sizes, but I'm not quite happy with it. I'll see. I'll wear it as is, and if it bugs me I will just frog that bit back and redo the hem. I'll see where it is once I've done the sleeves. No idea where my pattern's gone. I'm just kind of winging it, putting it on every now and again, decreasing as I go. You see I've got some little things in here where I'm decreasing, and because I'm working one sleeve then the other, that'll even up, it'll work fine. And for this one I am using DK scraps, and I'm using Magic Knot for the first time. Love it. Really, really love it. I know a lot of folks are a bit suspicious of it. Will the knots come undone? Time will tell. I think it's a really tight join. It's also known as a butcher's knot, I believe. I'll do a tutorial on it, because I do plan for my next scrappy blanket, which will be a crochet pattern. I do intend to use Magic Knot, which I haven't done in any of my other scrappy blanket projects, but you could. Not the second one so much. Or is it not the first one so much? I can't remember what order they came in. The one that's worked in rows and you're changing colour at the end of the rows, that one you wouldn't need it for. I believe it's the second and third, actually. The second and third I just did a yarn over on the last yarn over of the previous colour, switched to the new colour, and that worked for both of those. But Magic Knot would work as well, or any other kind of join I suppose. But my next one I'm going to specifically make with Magic Join. I'm going to have the tutorial for it, and that's going to be fun. Probably in, I say probably, I don't know what weight I'm going to go for actually. We'll have to see. This one, knitted, DK scraps, anything wool, so there's a mix of merino, alpaca, pure wool. Some of them have got a little bit of nylon in, not many, some of them do. Mostly natural wool, and I am using Knit Pro Symphony needles. Here is that one there, you can see it. The wooden one with the sort of marbly look to it. These are 5.5s. anything else I want to share? The pattern is by Wool and Pine Designs. I bought it on Ravelry. I believe it'll be available in other places. It's a very, very popular pattern. Sea Glass Sweater it's called. If you look up the hashtag Sea Glass Sweater, you'll see loads of inspiration. It's a really, really lovely pattern. Top down, split for the sleeves, and yeah, straightforward. It's 1x1 stranded knitting, so you're changing the colours every other stitch you're changing colours, like in the Fair Isle technique. So I am really enjoying it, using up all these scraps, and yeah, it's very much me. I've shared a few photos, and comments are usually, oh, that's very you. So yeah, I think it is. It's my colours, it's leftover yarn from other projects, so it's the colours I love and use. It's kind of predominantly purple, I think, with a bit of pink, a bit of yellow, orange. Love it. I'm probably going to do 2 separate colours on the cuffs. Don't know which colours yet. I think we'll just see as they work down, see how that goes. But yeah, I've done the neck in purple, the waistband in brown, so I think contrast cuffs for sure. Totally recommend the pattern. I am reluctantly, I'd say I'm probably an intermediate level knitter. I knit just as a hobby. So although this is a crochet podcast, I just popped this on at the beginning. I'm going to take it off now, I'm already too warm. And knitting is my hobby. Crochet is definitely my main thing. So I'm going to move on to the crochet. Thank you for sticking around for that one. I thought you'd enjoy the scrappiness and the colour of it. It's definitely something which could be achievable in crochet. If you're interested in that, here it is. If I hold it up back here. Da-da-da. And I want to finish this quite soon because I don't like to have too many knitting projects on the go. 2 maximum. At the moment I have 2. I've got another one to show you. I do not want to move into 3, but there are there's 2 knitting patterns that I'm desperate to start. One I'm going to show you yarn for actually in a little bit. So let's move on to some crochet. This one has been getting a lot of love. It's my Battenberg blanket, and I believe last time I podcasted it was kind of done to here, and then when I took it up again after I'd finished those commissions, I suddenly decided, so this is the length of my bed, and when I took it up again I suddenly decided I wanted to pin down the width. So I began to go along this way, and that is now my width. So I have basically an L shape. If I sit back a wee bit, I've got an L-shaped blanket, which is going to be completely unwieldy for podcasting and sharing on social media for the next wee while. So, but that's just the way it is, and it does mean that as I'm crocheting on it, the rows are going to get shorter and shorter for me, which I like, because you know the L will come in almost like a like a log cabin kind of effect. They're going to get shorter and shorter as I work across the blanket, and that appeals to me. And I now know how many squares I need. I need 1,369 squares, which is crazy, absolutely crazy. I think I'm around about 500, so it's doable, and it's a 2-year make-along that I am joining with Die Beau-Frau. I think I've said that right. Oh, she'll have to let me know. Mariette, if you're watching, Die Beau-Frau. I believe that's how I pronounce your name. I have been practicing. Mariette and her friend Leonie are in South Africa. And Leonie is Independence Yarn Crafts, with underscores between Independence and Crafts. And those 2 ladies are friends, and they host a number of make-alongs actually. This is the first one I've joined, introduced to them via Sunbird Crochet, who is a good friend of mine online. And so it's a make-along that they're hosting. They've got a lovely Instagram group, and it's all very positive, because you know most of us are going for around about the 1,000 mark for number of squares, so it's great to encourage each other and to share photos. There's been quite a lot of tips about the join, things like that. I am going for just the way the pattern says. Pattern is by Sandra Paul, who is Sandra Cherry Hurt. And I'm just going for the join the way she suggests. This is the back, and it's join as you go. You work the yellow square, and then as you finish it, you go round with the right sides together. You go round and join it to the other squares, and that seems to be working really well for me. I know some folks are sewing them together or using a different join. Some people are even knitting theirs, why it's a make along. The same sort of technique with one colour for, say, they're yellow, and then multicoloured scraps for all the ones in between. So I totally love this project. I can get really hooked on it and do 10 or so squares some days. Other days I try and do a minimum of about 2, and in that way I should have it all done in the 2 years, which is lovely. And it's going to be for our bed. And I just love popping it on and seeing how much it has grown. Interestingly, when I just kept putting it on the bed, adding squares, putting it on the bed as I was working out this bit here, which is the width. And when I decided, yep, happy with that, counted them up, counted up the length that I had, and they were both 37. So it's 37 squares by 37 squares, which is, it's stuck in my head now, 1,369. Whew. So the other day I got a lovely yarn delivery because I needed some reinforcements for this one. Oh, here's one of the squares. I instantly crocheted up and used the entire mini. It's a 10-gram mini, and here it is. The other two are still in their skeins. So this is yarn from Otter and Papoose, and I really, really like it. I have actually been following Pamela, who dyes the yarn. She has an Etsy shop. I've been following her and looking at this specific colour for quite a while, and I finally ordered. So this one's not for the blanket. This one I am going to knit a pair of socks, and it will be the Woodland Trail Socks by Dana Ray Makes, which was actually gifted to me, which was really lovely. There was I can't remember if it was a make along or a knit along, and one of the prizes was for cheering on. And although I didn't take part in that make along, I did, obviously, I think I was following the hashtag, so I put quite a few little positive comments on people's posts, and that was obviously picked up, and I won, not the yarn, I won the pattern for the socks. And I thought this would be perfect for those socks. It's a textured sock, and it's written for DK and 4-ply. This is 4-ply, probably my favourite weight to work with. And yeah, not going to cast these on though until I've finished my other knitted socks, which I'll show you, or the sea glass sweater, whichever comes first, I will cast on. Isn't it beautiful? It's I haven't actually even taken the band off. Let's take the band off and open it out. It's a semi-solid as well, so it's gonna be lovely. It's almost, here's a darker bit, it's almost solid, but it's not quite, and I think that is gonna knit up beautifully. Ooh, so really, really happy with that yarn. I'll just pop it to one side over there. And these minis, let's get them the right way around for you. Isn't her little logo cute? These minis are going to go in the blanket. I don't have much green in it at all. If I hold it up, let's hold it up again. There's not much green. I mean, this one's greenish. I did see a green one up here somewhere. No, I've lost it. There was a green one. Here. So there's odd little pops of green, but nothing like this one. So I'm really happy about that. I think I've got quite a bit of this kind of colour, so I might hang on to that for something else. These three and the sparkly one, which I have crocheted up straight away, are all going to be great. There's quite a lot of purple in it. I think being the complementary for yellow, I have gone for quite a lot of purple. Most of my ends, by the way, are sewn in. Here's a random few that I've missed, but most of my ends are sewn in. I've been doing them as I go, and gosh, can you imagine 1,369 ends times 2 at the end of the blanket? I don't think so. So I have been pretty strict with myself, sewing those ends in. Can I put it away now? Do I have to put it away? I really love this. And thank you so much to Claudia, who I think she joined. I saw a post of hers announcing this make along, and I thought, what's that about? And I clicked through and love it. So thank you, Claudia in Germany, Sunbird Crochet, one of my favourite podcasters. Go check her out for crochet and knitting comment. Kind of similar balance to me in terms of crochet and knitting, and she likes doll housing as well. So all that. Right, let's jump back to knitting. I joined in the Contrast Blast socks, which was a knit along, a mystery knit along, hosted by Stephen West. Got a pattern here. Yeah, there we go. Stephen West, and I love this one. It came in 4 clues, so each Thursday or Friday, can't remember which day, I think it's Thursday, you got a clue and you had the week to work on it. And at that point I was pretty busy with my commissions, but I did have a little bit of time in the evenings, and I managed to keep up pretty much with the first sock. It's quite tight here. Apparently that sorts itself in blocking, so these have not been blocked yet. There's a cable that runs down the gusset, which is a very interesting feature. And apparently once they're blocked, that will, I can see already actually, if you pull it, it's going to open that up, and hopefully that'll be fine. Only trouble is I was knitting these for myself and they do not fit. I don't think blocking will help. I think it's to do with my high instep, and this cable makes it quite tight, and I don't think the heel flap is long enough for my liking. I didn't, because it was a mystery knit along, I didn't want to go messing with it and adding in rows of heel flap or things. I knew at the time that that was quite a small heel flap. If I was to make them again for myself, I would probably add another 4 rows of heel flap, and then there would just be more gusset rounds, which is fine, and that would just create for me a wider bit across here, and it would fit me, because it fitted me fine here. This was all going fine, and then I tried them on again once I'd finished the gusset and went, oh, does not even go over my heel. But I have a lovely friend, Julia, who is a real life friend, and Julia supports me very well by my patterns, by my kits, sending me lovely comments and messages online. So I know that Julia has smaller feet because we're in craft group together, and I have seen Julia crocheting up little socks, and I thought, I know who has little feet. And I messaged Julia and said, would you like them? And she was of course delighted. So Julia, if you're watching, because I know you do watch my podcast, they are coming along. So we're almost at the heel of the second one. There was an option with these socks to do a left and a right, if you were feeling confident about that, which I've done. So they are going to be symmetrical, which I love. Love, love, love. Really, they're fun. They're just fun. The different techniques. I like this cable at the top. I'm trying not to talk about them too much because I have said it's a crochet podcast, and I am aware that this is the second knitting project. Yarn wise, I have gone for Hobby Unicorn Solids. It's a 4-ply sock yarn, ever so slightly thicker than other sock yarns, and it's a fairly woo, noisy train. Not sure if the microphone picks that up. I've got a new microphone. That was a big paw paw. You know, it's comparable in price for things like West Yorkshire spinners or paint box yarns, and for me those two are far superior. I am slightly disappointed in this hobby. It's got some clumpy bits, it's got some bits, I mean it says it's solid, but in the red there are some bits that go really quite orange. There's been a few mangled bits, one knot so far. Annoyingly, the knot came in about here, they're top down, the knot came in like 2 rows from the end on the foot, which I was not that impressed with. Yeah, I mean, check it out for yourself, but in my opinion it's a thumbs down, and I will not be ordering this yarn again. I like other hobby yarns, so That's why I'm quite disappointed. I love their Friends extra fine merino, which is what I've used this blanket over here, which I will chat about briefly. Remind me, okay? I want to chat about this. I might jump into that next, might keep my hand there because my head's a bit all over the place. And if I keep my hand there, I'll remember I want to talk about this. So this is Hobby Yarns extra fine merino in DK, and I love it. Have I finished these? I think so. Love the pattern, recommend it. Now, of course, if you were to buy it now, you'll know what it looks like. It was really fun just to join in, not really know where it was going. And there were videos to support you every step of the way as well. I haven't done that much cabling, so that was fun. Yeah, recommend that pattern. Let's pop these just in there. So while I put my hand on this, this is my latest blanket design, which is kind of ready for tech editing. I had my friend Lorraine, who is Lilia Seren Designs, had a quick pass through with it, and she spotted quite a few things that were needing to sort and that really needed me to just go back to the beginning and sort throughout before she then spent too long on it. So it was at that stage when Lorraine has decided not to be a tech editor anymore for various reasons. She's going back to just being she's going back to being a designer. And she's a really, really lovely designer. She has some gorgeous cardies especially out there. Worth checking out. I'll try and pop her in the description because we actually met. She came up to Scotland. She lives in Wales. She came up to Scotland in her camper van and let me know she was coming up, and we met and we had coffee and just chatted and chatted and chatted, and it was such a lovely morning. It was lovely to meet her in person, and then I got to go meet her dog. She has a lovely dog called Star, and her daughter and her hubby were there, and I met them too very briefly before they were on their way in a wee tour of Scotland. So thank you, Lorraine, for not agreeing because it was her idea. Suggesting is the word I'm looking for. Suggesting we meet up, and that was a lot of fun. So if you are ever in Scotland, particularly on the East Coast, do get in touch. It's great to meet up with people and share ideas and meet in real life, and yeah, always good. Oh, stranger danger though, be careful. Just don't go meeting any old person. Obviously we've been friends for a while and we did meet in a cafe, so it was all good and safe. Don't know why I had to pop that in there, but I did. Right. I think I might take a wee pause, grab a little drink break and rearrange this area here and check what else it is I need to talk about. Back in a minute. So I took my hand off this, didn't I? And this doesn't have a name yet. I will do a naming competition nearer the time. So this blanket is almost ready for sending back to a tech editor. I need to just go over some of the maths and then I'll send it to my tech editor. I need to find a new tech editor. Any suggestions on tech editors, please leave them in the comments. I've not even really looked into that yet, I've just been too busy. Lorraine obviously left me a few suggestions. And so once I get it tech edited, it'll be at the testing stage, and I'm going to have that one available for a variety of sizes, starting with pram, cot, single bed, small throw. I'll probably go as big as double bed. If you want to do it that big, you go for it. And so that shouldn't take too long to test if it's just, I'll just get the pram size tested, because beyond that the maths just increases for the larger sizes. So that will go out to testers once I've had a chance to sit down and sort through the maths. Always fun. And yeah, looking forward to that one coming out. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do it yet, whether I'll do it. I have kept the end of it mystery, specifically because I might release it as a bit of a mystery blanket, or a kind of, you can see the start of it and the end bit's a mystery. I might keep that, release it in 2 parts. Thinking about that. Any thoughts? How you like to work through patterns? That kind of thing, let me know. It will be a crochet along for sure. I'll set up a chat group. There might even be Zooms. Looking forward to it, I really am. Like I say, the yarn was just dreamy to work with. You could use any DK weight yarn, you could use cotton, acrylic. That one was in merino. I really, really liked it. So more on that coming soon. Sign up to my mailing list if you aren't already, because that is where the info will go out first. That's where the biggest discount code will go, and loads of other stuff. I share tips and things. If you sign up just now, actually, you get 25 crochet tips sent, just a download sent straight to you, which is full of crochet tips. Words today, honestly. Right, so I have two more things. I went and looked through what was over there. I have two more things. One, I went to lovely yarn shop in Stonehaven. Me and the hubby on our 23rd wedding anniversary took a day out in Stonehaven, and we went to Ba, which is a lovely wool shop. I think I've mentioned it before in this podcast. I bought two of these. I've only got one in my hand because when I actually got home I realised I have a ball already, and it is the same because I bought this one in Ba as well. So I am going to be knitting up the Buggy Fleur hat, which is the Shetland Wool Week pattern for the year, and you can buy, they've got these for sale now. In past years these were available to pick up for free or just pay postage for. This year they are £2, which is fair enough. You know, you're getting your pattern, paper pattern, or you can get it online for £1 just for the download. Beautiful pattern. The designer is, I think it's Alison Rendell. I was going to say Alison Rendell and I thought I better just check that. Several colourways on the inside. Do you want to see my colour? So I only needed to buy the main colour. I had lots of little bits of Shetland wool. I got these colours, which are just speaking to me right now. You know I love oranges and yellows, and greens not so much, but when I picked the colours out, really, really loved them. So I'll probably use the green for a bit of a pop, maybe for the zigzag, and bring the green in there. Not going to start though until I have finished either the jumper or the socks. And even then, I'm not going to start if I have cast on the other socks. So you can hold me accountable to that, 2 knitting patterns on the needle at any one time. Crochet patterns I can handle multiple because I think I crochet faster. Certainly I've got the Battenberg blanket, you know, that's long term. I can handle multiple crochet projects, multiple knitting projects. I guess it's the live needle thing, isn't it? You know, whereas this one has been in my project bag. Let's hold it up the right way. And, you know, I'm quite happy. I can dip in and out of this one. Knitting freaks me out a little bit. Anyway, last project to show you is, you've probably seen this one before. Here's the yarn. Got another ball. It's 3 colours. It's all lace weight. And I've done a wee bit on this. I'm not sure if I put in a marker last day I podcasted. Don't see one, so I don't think I did. But I believe I was somewhere back on that middle magenta stripe, so I'm working through it. It's lace weight, so it's taken a while, and really, really enjoying it. It's a lovely one to just have out and about with me. The repeat is beautifully simple, and it's going to take a while. There we go. It's worked that way, so I'd wear it, you know, like that. And yeah, really enjoying this one. This is the Not So Granny wrap, and it's in the Shawl Book 5 by the Crochet Project. Here are the other patterns on the back there. It's actually the front one. It's the cover one. Totally recommend it, especially if you're looking for something that's going to take a while. I seem to be into those kind of things, don't I? If you're not in a hurry for a shawl, thoroughly recommend that one. Just check, is it written by Kat Golden, or is it? It's Joanne's Grace. It is Joanne's Grace. Yeah, there it is there again. Nice and easy. And here's another picture. Yeah, love it. And I'm using a few different, have I got the ball bands with me? I've got one of them. I've got my 2 contrasts, if you like. are from Yarn Garden. Now, I said in previous podcasts that I'm going to look them up, and this yarn was gifted to me in a bit of a D-stash, friend of mine, and I can't find them really online. It says they're at yarngarden.co.uk. I'm afraid I've had no luck finding them online. If anyone knows this yarn company, knows anything about them, if I'm just missing them, give me a shout. I cannot find them on social media either, so I'm not sure if they still exist. And the pink is Fibrespates, and it's the Scrumptious Lace. I think the colourway is Magenta, and it is scrumptious. So all in 2-ply, which I've never worked in before. Now I think that's all my yarny content. So a couple of other things I just want to mention. First of all, my wee crochet companion, who I could sometimes persuade to join the podcast here, she passed away very suddenly around about 3 weeks ago. She was fine on the Wednesday. Actually, it was one of the happiest days she's had in... I mean, she's always a happy dog, but she had a really happy day on that Wednesday, and I don't know if it was a virus that got her or something that she ate when we were out and I just didn't see, but by Friday morning she was a goner, so that's really sad. I miss her a lot. I put it in my email to my list on Tuesday there. I started emailing again on Tuesday, so some of you will have heard that one. I couldn't put it out on social media because my youngest sister was away in Nepal, so I didn't want her hearing about it. She was very close to Jazz. Jazz loved her as well, and just with her being so far away and volunteering out there, I didn't want her to find out over the phone or whatever, so I kept it quiet for a while, and I did put it in close friends and made sure that she couldn't see it on Instagram, and she agreed that was the best thing. It would have been hard for her to have got the news when she was out there, so it's been a little bit hard. It's been tough without her. There was also a major come down for me when I did get those 2 magazine commissions done. I just think they filled my life for so long. I just put so much time and so much of my creativity and love into them. I hope you like them when they come out. I can't talk about them yet. And I think once they were handed in, I just had a bit of a, what now? What did I used to do with my life? Anyway, so I mentioned in the email on Tuesday there that my mental health had taken a bit of a hit, and this week though, I've been back in my business this week. I had a week or so off with the husband. We just went the odd cycle, the odd day trip. That was good. And back at it this Monday, and yeah, through this week I'm feeling a lot better. I think the routine of getting back in the business, Thursdays I podcast every other week. I send emails to my list on Monday and Wednesday. I get them scheduled for Tuesday and Friday. Jump on that list if you aren't already. It's going to be a good email tomorrow with, I should say, discount code coming for Pamela's yarn. That is going to be in that email tomorrow. So yeah, I think the routine this week has really helped, and it's been a lovely sunny week as well. I think that's helped too, and feeling a bit more optimistic this week. So thank you everyone who has messaged me off the back of my newsletter, and yeah, thank you all. It's really good to know your love and support and your kindness and your rooting for me. So I think that's all I have to share today. I should be back 2 weeks time. We'll see what we have. I am setting myself a deadline of the end of next week to finish the Contrast Blast knitted socks, so they should be finished and blocked by then. We shall see. Yeah, just being gentle with myself. We'll see how I go, and let me know in the comments. What did I ask? I asked you a couple of things. Let me know in the comments what you've been working on and how you like to enjoy a crochet pattern, whether a cal, a bit of a mystery to it, or whether you just like the pattern straight out there. Let me know, because obviously it's no good me doing one of these things and that's not what you want. So comments appreciated please, and thank you for watching. Bye for now.